In April 1986, 4,000 members of the American Physical Society held their annual meeting. The event went to plan, with no major issues from members or organisers, yet both the hotel and the city asked them not to return. Why? In April 1986, 4,000 members of the American Physical Society held their annual meeting. The event went to plan. There were no major issues from the members or organisers. Yet, both the hotel and the city politely asked them not to return. Why?
I saw this in a book somewhere. I'm going to sit out of this one. Kids invent stuff. This one's on you.
Ruth, the Physical Society. Do you think we're talking physics or like PE?
Ooh, I went down the physics route, but you're right. It could be 4,000 PE teachers descending. I mean, I would ask them to leave too.
Lab coats or biceps, yeah.
The whistles that you'd have, it'd be horrible.
Stopwatches.
We are dealing with physicists.
Okay. I mean, I would definitely not want 4,000 physicists either. So, you know.
Were they just like endlessly discussing like different bomb designs? Because, where they like kind of like, was it kind of, they were just like constantly talking about the physics of like the atomic bomb? Or was it just, they're just not very like fun to be around because of their chosen topics of conversation?
They all ended up on a watch list after this event.
I have no idea what they were talking about.
Oh.
Probably physics.
Probably, but let's not rule everything out. But what they were talking about is not relevant.
Did they make a giant Rube Goldberg machine? Did they like set one up in the hotel through the streets? Because believe me, you would not want to be invited anywhere else again if that's what you did.
It would have been fantastic though, wouldn't it?
Has anyone ever done like a Rube Goldberg machine on that scale with the corporation of the city? Like you'd have to build a giant one.
We once built part of a Rube Goldberg machine outside the BBC studios. You know, if you've ever been to the bit in London and there's the weird horseshoe bit.
Yeah.
The like bit you walk through is like a wind tunnel outside the window for the one show.
Yes, it is.
And we once built a section of Rube Goldberg machine. Bearing in mind the full Rube Goldberg machine took a week to build. We built it from 10:30 in the morning and we had to have it ready by 7 when it went live. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend, but
Did it work?
Well, it failed at every rehearsal, and the only time it worked was live. And if you watch the shot back, you see Shawn and I just looking absolutely shocked at each other, just like they were asking us questions afterwards, and me and Shawn are just like, that works? Like, that's crazy.
No, they didn't build the Rube Goldberg machine. No.
But that's the kind of thing that, city conventions would frown on, presumably.
They would frown.
So no one did anything untoward.
Nope.
Nothing went dramatically wrong, but they were told not to come back. Was it just simply that there were too many of them? 4,000 was just too big a number.
No, the hotels were very much able to cope with it, and it's not like they stiffed the hotel. They paid the hotel in full.
Did they have very raucous drinking parties? A lot of the physicists that I know, wild.
You know a different batch of physicists than I do. You know a very different batch of physicists than I do right now, but you may know the ones I know from university.
So where they were is useful to this question.
Just remind me where?
Oh, I didn't tell you, did I?
Oh, okay.
Right, let's play higher or lower.
Sorry, was it 1939?
1986.
Oh, rubbish. I was
Why are you thinking they were in 1939?
I was just trying to work out if it was like a war that had stopped them from going back or something. I was trying to think of history, which is not my strong point. What was the year again? I forgot. What did you say?
1986.
86.
So go on, name some places and I'll get you closer and further away.
Convention cities in particular, I'm guessing.
Birmingham, NEC.
No, not the UK. Because it was the American Physical Society.
Atlanta, Georgia.
West.
Oh, we're playing hot and cold across the entire USA. Amazing.
San Francisco.
Oh, East.
There are specific cities known for hosting conventions.
This city does a lot of conventions.
Vegas.
Hello. Correct.
They weren't exciting enough.
What do you mean by that, Ruth?
I mean that as Vegas goes, maybe 4,000 physicists was not on brand.
Well, I mean, you are getting there amazingly. You say that. Keep thinking.
They didn't gamble.
Hello. Yes.
I was going to go with strippers, but gambling is much more PC. But yeah, cool.
So if they didn't gamble, why is that a bad thing?
They stayed in a casino hotel and they were all physicists and they were like, well, the odds are rubbish, so we're not going to waste all our money. And that they probably had like a discounted hotel rate and they were like, oh, this is not worth our while.
Exactly. And the way that the casinos make their money is not through the hotel rooms, it is from the gamblers. So if you got a conference of people who aren't gambling, they didn't like it.
They should have built them a Rube Goldberg machine. They'd have been much happier then.
And then gambled on whether it was going to work or not.
So yes, several thousand physicists, scientific researchers and students arrived at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, to be specific. And the physicists knew that the best way to avoid losing money in the casino was to not gamble. And this caused a massive drop in takings for the MGM Grand, and the society claims that they were asked not to return the following year, and a newspaper headline afterwards read, "Physicists in town, lowest casino take ever."
That's amazing.